I noticed the charge 3 weeks before the wedding, not because I was looking for it. I'd offered to pay for the flowers. That was the agreement. $800, maybe 12 if my sister went overboard. Instead, my card had been hit for 15,000, the entire reception. Venue, catering, bar linens, chairs, the cake that cost more than my first car. I stared at the statement for a long time, not angry, just cold. The kind of cold that comes when a pattern you've been pretending doesn't exist finally clarifies itself. She'd always done this, taken things. First my clothes, then my savings for college, then the down payment my grandmother left me. Always with a smile, always with a reason. You're not using it anyway. You don't need it like I do. Why are you being selfish? And I always gave in. Because she was my sister. Because my parents said family forgives. Because saying no meant 3 days of silence, then guilt, then the slow erosion of every boundary I'd tried to build. I printed the statement, folded it, put it in my jacket pocket. The rehearsal dinner was at a steakhouse my parents couldn't afford. My sister wore white because of course she did. Her fiancé, a man who sold insurance and laughed too loudly at his own jokes, kept calling me the quiet one like I wasn't in the room. After dessert, she pulled me aside. The smirk was already there, practice familiar. Did you see the charge? I saw it. Good. She leaned against the wall, crossed her arms. Here's the thing. You're a loser who doesn't have a family to support. No wife, no kids, no real responsibilities. You should cover it. Consider it your wedding gift. I could have argued, could have shown her the statement, could have pointed out that I worked 60 hours a week, that I'd been saving for a year just to afford the flowers, that the only reason I had no family was because they'd bled me dry and called it love. Instead, I smiled. Then, you'll love what comes next. She rolled her eyes. Whatever. Just don't ruin my day. I didn't ruin her day. I waited until the next morning. The venue manager was a woman named Diane Jine who sounded like she'd been working weddings for 30 years and had stopped being surprised by anything. I explained the situation. She asked for the authorization code. I gave it. She asked if I was sure. Pull the payment, I said. All of it. Sir, that will leave a balance of $15,000 due by end of business today. The contract signer, your sister, will be notified immediately. I understand. They'll have until 5 p.m. to pay in full. If not, the wedding is canceled. No exceptions. I thanked her. Hung up. Went back to sleep. My phone exploded at 9:14 a.m., 68 missed calls by noon. My mother left 9 voicemails, each one escalating from confusion to hysteria. My father sent texts in all caps, then lowercase apologies, then all caps again. The fiancé called twice, breathless, asking if this was a joke. And my sister, 31 calls from her. The first few were angry, then confused, then scared, then something I'd never heard from her before, begging, please, please just fix it. I don't have the money. You know I don't have the money. Mom and Dad can't help. His parents won't. Please, I'm begging you. I listened to the last voicemail twice. Her voice cracked on the word please. There was no smirk now, no confidence. Just a woman staring at the collapse of a day she'd spent a year planning. I set the phone down, made tea, sat by the window. My parents showed up at my apartment an hour later. My mother was crying. My father looked old in a way I hadn't noticed before. Fix it, my mother said. She's your sister. She stole $15,000 from me. She thought you wouldn't mind. She called me a loser who doesn't have a family. My mother opened her mouth, closed it, looked at my father. He didn't say anything. I think that's what surprised me most. Not that they came. Not that they asked. But that when I said it, she called me a loser. My father looked away, because he'd heard her say it, probably 100 times, and he'd never once told her to stop. You don't have to pay for the wedding, my mother said finally. Just don't cancel it. Let them figure something out. They have until 5 o'clock. That's 3 hours. I know. She waited for me to soften. I didn't. At 4:47 p.m., my sister called one last time. I answered. I'm sorry, she said, fast like she'd rehearsed it. I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry I said those things. I was stressed. The wedding, the planning, everything. I didn't mean it. You meant it. A long pause. I could hear her breathing fast and shallow. What do you want? She asked. An apology? A check? What? I want you to remember this. Remember what? That I'm not a loser, that I do have a family. I just stopped pretending mine was worth keeping. I hung up, drank my tea, watched the sun move across the floor. She found the money somehow, a credit card, a loan from the fiancé's uncle something. The wedding happened. I didn't go. My mother calls once a month. My father sends birthday texts. My sister hasn't spoken to me in 2 years. Sometimes I wonder if I did the wrong thing, not the cancellation, the years before it, the giving, the quiet. The way I let her believe she could take anything because I'd never once said no. The liberation came at a cost. Not $15,000, just the weight of realizing that love, real love, doesn't require you to disappear.